Hello everyone and welcome to the end of the regular season here of the All-Time Trios League, as we just have 6 more shows left of the regular season, 3 for each league, and we will find out who will be making the playoffs in this episode. As for kind of the rundown of how the standings are looking like right now, mainly because this episode is going to be focusing on who's making the playoffs in the playoff hunt, we're just going to look at the top 19 teams here, which is this. Basically 20 wins, that's the magic number right now. Every team below that is outside the playoffs, and they're going to need a little bit of luck if they have any chance of making the playoffs. But as far as the 19 teams go, obviously teams 17 and 19, they're not in the playoffs, but really it comes down to the Ministry of Darkness and the Shield. You know, that tiebreaker for the Ministry of Darkness, because they have, as far as they have faced off against the Shield, and they have the tiebreaker win. So that is massive. It all comes down to that, as far as to being able to make it into the playoffs sometimes, is just beating the team that's in your league. As far as for the, as far as Los Gringos Locos in the Kings of Wrestling, same thing. Los Gringos Locos, tiebreaker win over the Kings of Wrestling. They make up 14 and 15. CTU, they're 22 and 6. And then as far as there are a couple of teams that have a kind of a wonky record because they're in the National League, as you see here with Evolution, who are 23 and 4. So as far as that is, as far as just one off of where they should be, or actually, yeah, about to be 2, but I'm sure they'll only be behind 1 match. We'll try and get all that caught up and situated. Because right now, that could be the difference between being 11th and 12th, and every kind of spot is quite important. You know, that's the difference between facing a team like the Brood or Team Angle, you know, as far as that type of difference could be huge either way for any team. Then we go to the top 10 after Team Extreme with 23 wins as well. We get the Dangerous Alliance, 24 and 4. The only team with 24 wins, and they are, of course, I would say everybody that's in the top 10, unless something insane happens, they're making the playoffs. They are pretty much clinched. There's just not enough, I think, days left for them to really fuck that up. Because even if they lose out, the Dangerous Alliance would still be 24 and 7, still pretty good. And right now, 21 and 7. Is kind of the benchmark, so you'd assume they would still be good enough. Luckily, all these teams that you're seeing, they have no injuries right now. That's really the only thing that could fuck this up for one of these teams, is if somebody gets injured. And even then, they'll still make the playoffs, it's just they won't be able to make a deep run in it. As for the NWO, the Heart Foundation, and the Death Triangle, they are 25 and 3. Oh, and the Three Musketeers. Didn't talk about them, as they are 6 through 9. We have 3 National League teams and 1 Premier League team. It actually went pretty well, at least this tiebreakers for the National League, because the Heart Foundation, they have beaten both, as far as the NWO and the Three Musketeers. Then the NWO have beat the Three Musketeers, so hence why they're ahead. Now here, when we get to 26 and 2, this is when things get fucking wonky, because each team has beaten each other, but it's in the opposite order. So the Elite, they beat the Brood. Or they lost the Brood. Then the Brood lost to Team Angle, and then Team Angle lost to Elite. So it's all wonky there. The difference maker, I figured the easiest way to do that is then take the record of the second team they lost to, which for Team Angle, they lost to Kaientai Deluxe, who are a losing record team. So obviously they're at the below everybody else. They're 13 and 16 because again they have a wonky little record as well. They actually have an extra match, but in CTU was the Brood second loss, which obviously playoff team. Same thing for Death Triangle, who are quite the good playoff team. They're, as far as they're fucking 6th, they're literally right below them. So it basically came down to strength of schedule, I guess you could say, or strength of loss, I guess you could say there. As far as from that regard. And then, in second, which is kind of an asterisk here because they should not have 52 points, but at the same time, if they had an extra match, it's probably likely they would have had 54 points. as far as they would have had that 26th win as well, but it's all whopper-jawed, the Four Horsemen in the Super Generation Army, because of, they have, basically, they're at 27 matches apiece instead of 28, but the Four Horsemen, they've only lost one match, and they have gotten some big wins along the way, as far as for the Four Horsemen, and I still can't believe a team actually surpassed the Super Generation Army. The fact that they fell to 2 losses, insane. Still can't get over that. As far as for the shows go, there are, I think, almost all of the National League shows don't have all 16 matches because it's all fucked up. But we're figuring it out as we go along here, because I know that we have the extra days with the All-Star Showdown show, and then also we have the National League vs. Premier League team as far as show as well, so we might even do something on there for some of the extra matches. But really, what the big thing is to figure out how these 19 teams are going to finish. This is the focus. This is all the standings we're going to look at in this episode, at least for now. We'll probably, once we actually start the next episode, we're actually going to run down everybody's standings, since that will be the end of the season, and then go into, obviously, the playoffs. So that's going to be fun. But for right now, this is the focus. This end of the road of the leagues, and we're in August now, which is crazy to think that we've basically have ran, what? Let's see how many shows we've ran. We've ran 56. It's just 28 times 2. But as far as that's a good bit of shows that we've ran. Again, we've only had a handful of 100, which is, it's funny to say that, because last time around during the all-time tag league, I felt like we had a lot more 100 events and matches. We only have 3 matches that are over 100, and all of them are in the National League, and 2/3 of them make up the Super Generation Army, which the Four Horsemen getting a tiebreaker win over the Super Generation Army is probably the biggest thing out of that they could have had. I mean, that is a massive, massive tiebreaker win, and we'll see how the Premier League shapes up here for week 29. I have no idea where we're going to run the show. Well, yeah, didn't mean to click on that. Shows you where I'm at as far as thinking wise. Yeah, 5 hours. Yeah, make sure it's the Premier League. We've been doing this as well, adding the legendary cost for the live events and other live music in the set, which I just feel like was something we probably should have been doing the whole time, but that's alright. So, we I was about to say, we can run the Midwest, can even run the Boston Garden again, which I think we will. It's been a while. It's been, and it'll be a sellout, of course. Here we go, automatic selection, perfect. We can skip that, and for the locker room instances, no, Val Venus, no. I don't want you anywhere near this goddamn locker room. Yeah, Luger, you can hang out. Sure, Sasha. Latrie wants to hang out too. Fuck yeah. You the skipper, Bob fought a fan. Well, that might not be prime time, but Mr. Aguilar failed to show up to a scheduled road agent meeting. That's great. Chris here passing on booking tips to Orange Cassidy. Omega's got a finish that we can't use. And the basic and safety training. Just 9 people showing up for that. Stu Hart and Bobby Eaton about fought. Kenny Omega about fought Ghetto. That's hilarious. Because he's not a fan of how he was booked in New Japan. As then Nate Steele giving a series of spot-on impressions from his colleagues, which that gave a locker room a lift. Same thing for Pac. Just a couple of stand-up comedians back there. So for this show, we do have 2 tag matches because Mince Tao's injury, he's got his shattered elbow, and then Bobby Fish, which Bobby Fish is going to be back. But that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for Daniels and Loki, if they can in fact beat the Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly team. Of course, for everybody that's in the playoff hunt, Death Triangle and Team Extreme, that's a big time match. The Elite and the Kings of Wrestling, that's a big time match. I would say this is the Death Triangle Team Extreme team matchup. That'll probably be the main, and then the Elite Kings of Wrestling will be the co-main. And we'll work out from there. Alrighty, so we start off with a pretty strong opener, actually, as the ECW Originals beat the Jurassic Express. We see Sabu pinning Marco's stunt after the Arabian Facebuster. Van Dam, the 93, doing the heavy lifting of this one. Yeah, actually pretty decent little opener. I figured we'd at least start off with something that's not terrible, and follow it up with this as far as LAX and Spectral Envoy. Yeah, I think if this was the opener, it wouldn't have been terrible, but it's way better doing it like this instead, as far as having something at least we know is going to kick off the show in a good way. But LAX get the win. It's Homicide of the Cop Killer over Frightmare. And the tag matchup here between Kantai Deluxe and LIJ, which Dick Togo pins Tetsuya Naito after the diving senton. Yeah, I mean, it came down to a point difference. Probably should have gave it to LIJ, but alas, it is what it is that's a 74. And the Bang Bang Gang beating TMDK, unreal. Juice Robinson getting the win with the juices loose over TMDK. I mean, just wild. Wild. Yeah, guys that aren't over in this technical masterclass matchup, not great. Just crazy that the Bang Bang Gang got the win there. It's a 67 for the Judgment Day, beating the Monster Express. Every time I'm like, oh, we need to add Rhea Ripley's Riptide, and every time forget to do it. But Rhea was almost the best person in the matchup. Ricochet passed her, but still, solid stuff. The right team wins, though, as far as in that one. And Los Perros de Mal beating 3MB. Hector Garza getting a win with the moonsault. I mean, as far as Hector Garza now with an 85, if they would have kind of had these ratings at the beginning of this run, they might have finished damn near in the playoffs. So right now, as far as for Los Perros de Mal, they are, as far as I believe their record is, yes, 13-15. So they're not even at 500, which now they're 14-15, but like they would have been above 500 with Hector Garza getting an 85. But that's a good win, though, for him nonetheless. Second City Saints beat the OG Bloodline. Punk with the go to sleep onto Jey Uso. And yeah, Punk again, carrying the Second City Saints and carrying this matchup. That was an 82. The 83 for 3 count in the Dudleys. The Dudleys get the win as a Deadlyville drop from Devon onto Shannon Moore. Right team wins there. Bubba and Devon outperformed them. And, yeah, got the crowd, it's hot and rising, so it got the crowd hot again. We set this for 20 minutes, too, so it wasn't even a steal the show matchup. This is a fun match, though. Los Gringos Locals and El Sky team, obviously Mystico in there with Eddie Guerrero. I mean, that's a phenomenal fucking match. And they had a great matchup as well, as far as between the two, as far as Eddie and Mystico 100 and an 88, or an 89, rather, excuse me. But, obviously, the better team gets the win. And Los Gringos Locals, who are still staying alive, thanks to that man right there, Eddie Guerrero. If not for him, boy oh boy, I don't know where they would definitely not be in the playoffs. Sliger beating Chuck Taylor with the Brainbuster. This is the Steelers show matchup. We waited way too fucking long, I think, for this to be put as the Steelers show matchup, but it's very hot, though. The crowd is now, so that's that at least. At least we have something positive there. But Liger, of course, another guy that's probably going to be an all-star. He's been phenomenal. And funny enough, a National League matchup gets 100 here on the Premier League show. Reason why, basically Super Generation Army, as you remember, they have a wonky little record at 25-2, so they need extra matches. And basically, it was like, well, why take away from them working twice in one night when we can have them work one of the Premier League shows? And that's what we get here as far as Demolition losing to the Super Generation Army, and of course hundreds all across the board from the Super Generation Army as they show the National League how it's done. But that follows it up, though, really trying to ride this wave, and they damn near did a pretty good job of doing it, though. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, they lose to Triple X and Daniels and Low Key. That is extremely tough, because they probably should have won in Undisputed Era. Any playoff hopes now? Dead in the water. Can't be losing for the old Undisputed Era tonight. They did, though, unfortunately, and now they just gotta keep their fingers crossed and maybe somebody slips up really, really bad. As far as Blood Generation, losing to Jin next. Fun matchup here, obviously. This is a Dragon Gate style 6-man written all over it that would have ruled. Everybody rolled in this matchup. Shima does rule in real life, obviously, especially around this time. But just in the mod here, 52. But everybody else, phenomenal. I mean, you had 4 guys that were in the 90s. And that's pretty much on brand for a Dragon Gate style matchup, though. So that, even though maybe compared to some of these other groups, maybe I would have been like, this is probably a bit of an outlier. But when you kind of think of what this match would have tried to been looking like, it's exactly the type of match we needed out of these 6 men, because just let them go full tilt. Who gives a shit about psychology? Just go out there and do every fucking move possible. It would have killed the business, but it would have been awesome. Team Angle, being the Filthy Animals here, as Kurt Angle with the Angle Slam over Kidman, which they were actually the 2 teams that have 19 wins that might have had a shot of jumping up, is the Radicals and the Filthy Animals. And obviously the Radicals, they're down. As far as Dean Malenko's injured, he could still wrestle, but we haven't really been using him just because of how bad that probably injury is. But they might need him as far as going forward to try and make a run at the playoffs, even with his banged up neck. But hell of a matchup though for Team Angle. 100, 90, and 85. 97 for Ray. Some great matches tonight. And broken ribs for Claudio Castagnoli. Got what you need if you're a Kings of Wrestling member, as my God, Claudio trying to make a run for his team with a 99 performance and an 89 from Chris Hero. It's just not going to be enough, though. I think if his broken ribs are a major factor tonight. But luckily that's the co-main, thanks to that injury. But our main event, it's a 92 when Team Extreme beats the Death Triangle team. Massive fucking win. Beating the Death Triangle here, massive. Absolutely massive. Again, another match lacked psychology, which I can definitely see why that would be the case. But a hell of a matchup though nonetheless. So we see the Elite still beat the Kings of Wrestling, so they're still going to be, they're going to jump up to 27-2. As far as the Brood, actually were not booked tonight because they have, as far as we're trying to figure out basically who needs matches, who doesn't need matches, and right now, just the way the schedule is looking like for the Brood, they needed the week off, so weird, but they'll be fine. They'll just be kind of a match behind. Super Generation Army, though, at least is now 26-2, so at least they have the correct record now. So, yeah, as far as the Elite and Team Angle, looking good. They have now officially tied Super Generation Army. And as far as for Team Extreme, they're 24-5. As far as for the Death Triangle, they're 25-4. So obviously still in good shape. But as far as for the Undisputed Era, they drop down. For Gen next, they jump up. And they might just in fact make the playoffs. Now that it really comes down to, off the top of my head, I don't remember how they did against the Kings of Wrestling, if they've beaten them, if they've faced them yet. If it's a good tiebreaker, though, that is perfect for them, because they will be in the playoffs because of that. Same thing for Los Gringos Locos. If they get another loss in these next 2 shows, they'll be sitting pretty good. CTU, of course, they won tonight. They're 23-6. They're not going anywhere. Yeah, as far as a little bit of a shake-up, definitely for Undisputed Era, though, not the result they needed. They needed a Gen Next loss after they lost, and it just wasn't meant to be, unfortunately. But hell of a show, though. Hell of a show. As, definitely got who to put over. There's so many top talents tonight. Van Dam trying to... Oh, no, we already put over Van Dam. Let's see. Yeah, we've already put over Shelton. Put over Charlie Haas. He's been working his ass off. Yeah, we've put over Liger in the past. We might just do the 3 of the 4 pillars, since they're working extra. Since they'll be working tomorrow. Might as well put them over now. I mean, they had hundreds across the board. Definitely deserve this praise. They were phenomenal tonight. Absolutely tough, though, about the broken ribs. We're going to be seeing how that's going to affect them here now, as far as for Claudio Castagnoli. It's going to work through him. Tough son of a bitch. He knows how important he is for his team. It's still not 100 for the Tasmania area. Yes, fully support him. I don't know who. It'd be nice to see what. Yeah, of course we're gonna keep Terry Funky. You kidding me? It'd be interesting to know what. Was it an adult fan? Was it a kid? Like what? Because the context is key there, pal. As far as to see who needs discipline or not. But yeah, as far as inconsistency from Homicide, yeah, we'll be looking to keep fucking Ron Simmons. Same thing for Bobby Eaton. Oh, listen. Yeah, we'll do it again. Hopefully. Yeah, we're going to obviously keep Kyle. A lot of just contract extensions and whatnot. But obviously, tremendous show, though. Good shit. Now we'll see how the National League does for week 29. Alright, time to see what the locker room incidences are, Jesus, for tonight's show. Fuck off, Dan Spivey. No, Mark Jindrak, we don't have a spot for you. Fuck yeah, Magnum, you can hang out. Don't agree on what's hang out, sure, but with that hair, you gotta be able to hang out with us. This is Carl Gotch. Passing on tips on microphone work to Minoru Suzuki and to Joe Malenko and to Yuki Ishikawa. And yeah, Carl Gotch passing on selling instead of the other way around there to Fuchi. David Von Erich and Kobashi got into a blazing argument. That'd be a hell of a fight, though. David's like 6'7". Yeah, pretty. Well, yeah, I hope Big E beats the fuck out of Shawn Michaels there as they both got into it. Rollins clearly not happy with Bobby Heenan. Same thing for Shawn Michaels. Hashimoto even was infuriated with him, and now Paul Lee trying to get into it with Bobby Heenan. Poor Bobby. The morale officer just gets shit on the whole time. Triple H almost got into a fight with Mickey James because caused some damage to his round car and refused to pay for it. Come on, Hunter. Don't be a fucking asshole. Solano won Buffalo Russell's court, making a mess backstage, not cleaning up, annoying everyone else. As Taker found him guilty and sent him to clean up in the bite drinks everyone after the show. Sure, one of the other Villanos stooged him off. AJ's got an idea to enhance his character. A little too late for that, bud, but I get it, though. Yeah, we still can't inspire, because I believe, not till next month. So we don't have to worry about that. As for the main event, didn't mean to click that far away. It's a tough one because there's really nothing that I think is drawn out to me. Probably the Super Generation Army in Evolution as the main, then probably the co-main Hart Foundation ring comp, then probably just off of kind of the idea of the matchup, the Bullet Club of the NWO, which is just kind of as far as the original and the knockoff battling it out, but also the Four Horsemen and the Radicals. I mean, that's going to be a big-time match. Unfortunate that Dean's hurt. We're going to see how he does in there against, it's actually going to be Arn and Tully as well. We're going to give Oli a little bit of a break before the playoffs, just to kind of help them out a little bit with the rotations, but should be a decent show. I don't know if it's going to be better than the last show that we just ran at National League, though at times can pull off some great matches. At times, though, with the way the cards kind of get scheduled, it turns into a bit of a mess. We'll see, though. Alrighty, so we're for the pre-show match. Oh my god, they got the win, too. The FBI. Their second win. Tony Mamaluke with the Sicilian stretch over Zombie Clown. Hilarious. Unreal. Big Sally Graziano 36. They still win. Wow. What a win, now. I'm sure the crowd fucking loved that. Oh my. Yeah, that's wild stuff. There's the opening contest, though, is the Von Erichs versus the Chaos team of Yoshihashi, Tomoishi, and Hiroki Goto, which this match is pretty brutal. Luckily, though, the Von Erichs actually did pretty well. Kerry with a 70, 68 for David. And even Kevin outperformed him. It's good stuff. Good stuff there. And Kevin and Fritz got some great chemistry, too. As always, Kensuke Office, though, beating the FBI team. At least they got a bit of a break here in between, but yeah, still, they weren't going to win this one. Kinsuke, which surprisingly, Kinsuke had the same performance as Tony Mamaluke and Little Guido because he was right off his game, but at least Nakajima was a professional out there and showed up and performed. The Wyatt family beating the House of Black, Eric Rowan, the full Nelson Slam of Brody King. That's a big motherfucker to be picking up like that. I mean, it was a slight upset, but an upset nonetheless. Murray was off his game, so there is that. I mean, still the win though for the House of Black for the Wyatt family. Huge win. Demolition beating the Freebirds here. Smash pinning Buddy Roberts. Terry Gordy with an 87. Tremendous stuff from him. Just tough break overall for everybody involved. And yeah, I mean, a tough one for Terry Gordy to lose to, and it wasn't his fault. Surugan beating Los Brazos. Of course, Brazo de Oro has his injury, which both him and De Plata are stinging the joint out there. But Taue gets the win, though, nonetheless, and they carry him to a somewhat decent affair of a 65. A little bit of subpar, I would say, for what we're looking for. Dangerous Alliance, though, get the win over Too Cool. It's Rick Rude, the full Nelson over Grandmaster Sexay. Not even a slam, it's a straight-up full Nelson. Obviously, the better team getting the win there. And the Dangerous Alliance jump up now as far as to 25-4. Again, they're going to be in a really, really good spot to make the playoffs. Something crazy would have to happen for them not to make it, especially with that win there. DX beat the triple threat here as Road Dogg with the dog pound on Chris Candido. Crazy loss for the triple threat. Very wild. I mean, as far as I got the crowd buzzing goes, the crowd's hot now for the rest of the show. What a win, though, for DX. The Shield beating the Bloodline as Rollins at the curb stomp onto Jacob Fatu. Fun match, though, as far as it's an 84. Almost even an 85 plus there. But yeah, white hot crowd. I love that. And this shit's the bed because we waited way too long for the Technical Masterclass matchup. So now the crowd's back to simmering down. Yeah, we fucked this all up by having that be. I thought I moved it to where it was a little higher, or a little lower on the card, but I guess not. As the Three Musketeers, they do get the win. They're 26-3, and I mean they're looking good to make the playoffs as well. Obviously, Muto and Chono have been tremendous in that affair, and Hashimoto too. He's been doing pretty well for himself. And the Horsemen beat the Radicals. Yeah, Dean Sale outperforms Perry Saturn even though he's injured. And Arn Tully and Ric Flair getting the win. Flair with a figure 4. Of course, they're 27-1, so they're still one match off, but they're looking good though. Nonetheless, the NWO beat the Bullet Club. They jump up to 26-3. Obviously in a good spot to make the playoffs as well. And they have the tiebreaker win as well over the Three Musketeers, so at least they'll know they are going to be above them one spot, no matter what, as long as they stay tied with them. But they're actually getting pretty good now. It's a little too late, but if they can all get into the 80s, they may make a little bit of a run. The Hart Foundation as well jump up to 26-3, as all the 25-3 National League teams jumping up to 26 wins. A sharpshooter for Brett gets the win over Timothy Thatcher, over Axel Dieter Jr. But yeah, Brett with a 93, outperformed both Walter and Timothy Thatcher, and Owen Hart as well, and Davey Boy outperformed Axel Dieter Jr. And Evolution beat the Super Generation Army. That is insane. Hunter was the best guy in the match, but him being Kawada, I feel like is a giant slap in the face, and it's TEW kicking me right directly in the balls, to be honest. That is insane. But now, Super Generation Army, they're going to be 26-3, so they're going to drop below all the 27 and 26-2, Premier League teams. But at least, and now, as far as the Death Triangle, they're going to drop down all the way. Like, probably, they're going to drop about 3 points. They're now going to be tied to the Dangerous Alliance, who are 25-4 as well. Evolution, though, I mean, my God, they're jumping up to 24-4, and they're obviously in a really, really good spot. Obviously, with this win over the Super Generation Army, just insane. An insane loss. What a main event, though, I will say that. Hunter, man, pulling off the big win. Insane. I feel like, I guess we do have to give him something, praise him for something, but I feel like he politicked his way into getting that win. Yeah, Flair, I mean, he's phenomenal tonight. Arn Anderson, again, just the Four Horsemen, they've been tremendous. And the final person to put over here. I mean, Rollins has been great, but we've already put him over. I mean, Steve's been great too, so yeah, we'll put him over. Stunning Steve Austin. Dangerous Alliance. Getting some big wins along the way. And 98 for Tasmania. We're almost there. We fully support Mickey J in that affair. Yeah, another success. Obviously, we're going to keep Steve Austin. Yeah, Buddy Robertson having an off night. No surprise. Yeah, obviously keeping Charlie Haas. That's crazy. They don't get along. Hey, there we go. Actually worked out well. Yeah, we'll sort it out. The old locker room morale. It's a bit of a shit show right now, but man, yeah, huge upset win though for Evolution. That, I mean, just crazy. I still can't believe that. We see Super Generation Army drop a couple of spots, and now they've lost 3 fucking times now. We see, as far as the Death Triangle, they drop out a couple of spots as well. But really, those teams that are still going to be in the playoffs, they're still looking good. No fault to anybody there, and we'll see how they're looking. Now going into week 30 for each league, and now we're down to the final 4 shows, just like that. Alrighty, so for this show, in these weeks of shows, I think what we're going to do is I want to run somewhere that we have not ran before. So either the UK or even Europe, as far as anywhere, as far as if it's in Germany or if it's going to be in Italy, no matter kind of where it is, as far as or even Australia, that would be nice as well, but somewhere different, for this week to kind of wrap up the regular season, if we can. About to see the O2, we should be able to sell that out. Okay, perfect. About to say the O2 works for me. So yeah, we'll be going over across the pond for these weeks here. And Nigel wants to hang out. Fuck yeah. Come on, hang out, Nigel. As Charlie Haas almost fought Eric Young after he caused some damages around a corner and refused to pay for it. Yeah, that's in the right. Larry Sweeney and Roger Strongbow got into a fight. Roddy about put him on a goddamn backbreaker. As Carl Gotch lifted the locker room when he invented a silly game and it quickly became popular. Backstage, a creative idea for a finish. Too bad we can't use that thanks to Timothy Thatcher, though nonetheless. Boris Malenko passing out tips on psychology to Gangrel. Of course, he was a Malenko student. As, Carl Gotch again, basic safety training drills for these 9 individuals there. And there we go. Perfect. So yeah, now that we're going to be across the pond, I do know that we have a National League matchup with the Four Horsemen in the New Day on this show. So we're going to try and get that at least caught up, at least for the teams that are in the playoff hunt. Will, kind of kick the other ones down the line. But, yeah, I mean, as far as for the big-time matches, obviously Kings of Wrestling and CTU, that's 2 teams in the playoffs, especially for the Kings of Wrestling. They try and bounce back, and as far as to get maybe even higher in the playoff hunt. Other than that, pretty straightforward, though, for most of these matches, and we'll see how they play out. Alrighty, so we start off with the Brood against TMDK, which the Brood get the win. Christian gets it the Unprettier over Shane Haste, and that is, of course, another win for the Brood. which they're still one match behind, but they should be caught up once we get into the actual National League show for Week 30. We're going to have them have their extra match, so that way that will be all caught up. But yeah, the Brood, as far as they are, obviously, I would say have pretty much secured a top 4 spot, unless something crazy happens in the playoffs, so we'll see how that plays out for them. Oh, Shingo broke his fingers. This, crazy enough, Shingo and Naito, 75 and 71 here in the UK. I guess we should have been running the UK more often for these guys, because they get the win here, and it wasn't even close. It's pretty hilarious. Hiromu gets the triangle choke win with the OD, and Shingo breaking his fingers. Tough break. Bang Bang Gang beating 3MB. Kind of wild. I definitely thought the 3MB team would get the win yet again. The Bang Bang Gang just keep on stealing wins. It's insane. But Juice gets the win with the Juice Box over Heath Slater. As LAX beat the Monster Express. Did not expect this at all. Thought the Monster Express were going to, even though Tozawa was actually pretty bad. So it's probably for the best, though, as LAX get the win. Santana, Ortiz, and Homicide all around the same. The high 60s. And Ricochet as well with a 67. Yeah, Tozawa being really off his game there. The Judgment Day get the win as they beat the Second City Saints. Actually surprised by that. South of Heaven from Damian Priest over ATTL actually gave Rhea Ripley finally the Riptide, and she doesn't get the win with it, so that's tough. But Punk's up an 84. 62 and 60 for both Cabana and ATTL. Wrong team wins here as well. But, hey, fun win and fun upset. The Usos beat the Undisputed Era. That's shocking. And that's going to kick them completely. I mean, they had a real outside chance of trying to make the playoffs. But now, it's it. 20 and 10 for them after 30 weeks. It ain't happening. Too many losses. Tough break. Tough break. Because, again, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole outperformed the Usos, and they still lose here. Crazy. But, yeah, this was supposed to be the technical masterclass matchup, and it just absolutely shit the bed. So that was fun. Team Angle beat the Spectral Envoy, and there we go. We warmed the crowd back up. Yeah, obviously Haas and Benjamin and Kurt Angle get the win. Yeah, 71. Not the greatest of matches there. It's the Death Triangle beat Best Friends, so a nice win for them. They're going to be 26 and 4. So depending on what happens in the National League, they might jump back up, they might not. Now that there's 4 National League teams that are 26 and 3. But yeah, just as far as Generation Next, they beat 3 count. They're now 22 and 8. So depending on if the Kings of Wrestling win or lose here tonight, they just might be just one more match away from being in the playoffs. So that would be huge for them, but we'll see. But Los Gringos Locos beat the Dudley Boys as well, and they keep their playoff hopes alive and well, jumping up to 23 and 7. And again, it really comes down to CTU and Kings of Wrestling as far as how that match is going to play out, between if there's going to be any more dropping or improving for any teams in the playoff race. Team Canada beat Triple X, even though Daniels and Triple X beat Team Canada pretty much performance-wise across the board. Bobby Roode, though, with the Northern Lariat over Loki, and that got an 83. 84 for Holo, and Four Horsemen beat New Day, which is great for them. They're 27 and 1, but Ole Anderson's burnt out, so glad we have Tully Blanchard here. But Rick and Oren, 98 and 85. Crazy. The arm of the spine buster on Kofi Kingston, that's pretty awesome. Big E calls it. Only just, I'm gonna go take a shit. Filthy Animals get the win over the ECW Originals. The Filthy Animals, they had a good chance of potentially making it. Now they're tied with the Undisputed Era as far as they're both going to be 20 and 10. It really is, again, going to come down to if anybody else miraculously loses, but I just don't think it's going to happen, especially with the Generation Next already getting a win. They need the Shield or the Kings of Wrestling to lose these next couple of matches for them to have any chance. Team Extreme beat Los Perros de Mal, so they stay alive here. They're going to be 25 and 5. And as far as Pedro Aguirre Jr. taking the Twist of Fate over Jeff Hardy. And yeah, I mean, Jeff at least still high 90s, Matt though not so much. Yeah, Jeff pretty much carrying this one. The Elite beat L Sky team. Great stuff there for the Bucks in Kenny. And they get the win in 22-47. It's one of the better matches we've seen tonight, which is shows you the testament of the Elite being this over across the pond. And the Kings of Wrestling, even though Claudio Castagnoli's out there with broken ribs, he gets the upset win with his team, for his team, as he wins with Swiss Death over Giotto. Unreal. So the Kings of Wrestling are now 22-8. CTU's 23-7. They now are tied with the Los Gringos Locos team. Unreal. Unfucking real. So the Kings of Wrestling have a major chance to jump potentially into the playoffs. Comes down to the Shield and the Ministry of Darkness. If they're going to lose in any of these next two matches that they're going to have. Actually, the Ministry of Darkness have 3 matches left since they have the extra match. But that is a massive win for the Kings of Wrestling. Cannot be stated enough. And then now that, as far as for a lot of teams in the Premier League, they just have one more match left to see how that all shapes up. And now we get to praise our talent, which again, I mean, the Horsemen, fucking 1 loss. Crazy. They've been fantastic. I think that we have to put over the Elite, though. I mean, they've been fantastic. We're going to give a hug to Claudio. He's the goddamn man. Working with some broken ribs and pulling off a win. Major stuff. Matt Jackson. Nick Jackson. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, this has been a hell of a final couple of shows. And yeah, Ole's going to be out, which is fine, because they got Tully. But now Tully's going to be part of the playoffs, though. That's going to be huge. Yeah, we support... Oh, damn, I already forgot which one caused the rail car damage. I think it was Eric Young who was pissed at Charlie Haas. It's probably the other way around. Big E caused him. It's funny enough. Blameless. Oh, God. Probably shouldn't have done that. Just fuck off, Ole Anderson. So, Mikey Nichols off tonight. That's okay. And, wish him a speedy recovery, though. Yeah, fortunately it's only minor for Shingo, and yeah, great show. Thank God. As, now on to the National League's 30th week show. Alright, we're back in the O2, and Kendo Nagasaki wants to work. Sorry, bud. Can't use him. Oh, don't go away, Marty Scurll. Fucking get the hell out of here. You son of a bitch. As Big Sally Graciano brought for Wrestler's Court, accused of making a mess backstage, not cleaning up. Knowing everyone else that's the judge, the Undertaker, for them get the incidents to clean up, and the bite drinks after the show. Crush almost got into a fight with X-Pac after he caused some damage to his running car, so yeah, Crush will be the one that's getting support on that one. People a little upset by that, and Michael Hayes has gotten some heat. As, we'll see. I'm sure someone's gonna beat the shit out of him, or cut his hair, or do something bad to him. Yeah, probably the wrong guy to be trying to fight there, Volano 1. Minoru Suzuki would fuck you up. Perry Saturn and Volter would be a hell of a fight, though. As far as, I feel like Perry Saturn knows some sugar holds and knows how to beat somebody's fucking ass. Volter, though, I feel like he is not going to be turning down a fight. Luckily, though, it's just a verbal barrage between the two, as Chad Patton and Road Dogg got into a huge row of it, had to be physically separated. So much fighting going on this National League side. Yeah, I could see why someone would be unhappy with the morale officer if you're Chris Benoit. I could see why he would be somebody. I think all just the assholes just hate poor Bobby Heenan. So that's fine. Poor Bobby, though. He's swimming in there with the sharks. It's tough. But yeah, I mean, as far as the Three Musketeers Ministry of Darkness matchup, that is huge. Obviously, the Ministry of Darkness, I mean, right now, if they lose, they would have to have like a tiebreaker match with the Kings of Wrestling Generation Next to see who makes the playoffs. Because right now, they would be tied. Actually, they would not be tied because technically they have one less match than everybody else. So they would still need one more match. But still, they'd have 8 losses, and I think that's not really going to change anything. Unless they lose again, though. Then obviously, they would just bump all the way down. But that's definitely the biggest match. Probably the main, to be honest, here tonight. We also have a Premier League match, the Brood versus Los Perros del Mal. This will see if how the Brood are going to finish out. As far as are they going to go into the last week 28-2 or 27-3. They either way, massive stuff tonight. For the Musketeers, if they win, they jump up, of course, to 27-3. It might potentially pass some of these other teams ahead of them. But at the same time, you have the Super Generation Army that are going to be ahead. The Hart Foundation, the NWO, though, that's also a big-time matchup. That's probably going to be the main now I'm looking at it. Especially with Davey involved in the main, so at least they have somebody from England that's going to be in the main. That'll be nice. But yeah, that's our main, co-main, and then, yeah, we'll sprinkle in, obviously, everything else to try and get a good little show here. Alrighty, so, pre-show matchup, the FBI and Los Brazos, which the FBI pick up another win. Unreal. Little Guido getting the win. Hilarious. Shout out the FBI. With a team that had no wins after like 20 weeks and have picked up a couple now. Towards the end was Ric Flair with the Schoolboy over Zombie Clan, a win for the Four Horsemen, which of course they are 28-1 now. Still need that extra match, which it, well actually they need a couple extra matches, but nonetheless, they will be getting them as far as they're going to be booked on both the Premier and National Week 31 shows, and that will, of course, wrap up to then be 31 matches. But right now, at least, 28-1, I mean, it's either going to be them or the Elite as far as being 1 or 2. Of course, also Team Angle, too, yeah, but the Brood, they still have their extra match, which we'll get to see here later. Kinsuke Office against the Wyatt family, and Kinsuke Office get the win. They were the better team. I'm glad they get the win there over the Wyatts. Nakajima submits Bray Wyatt as well. New Day beat the FBI. Tough break. They put all their energy into the pre-show match, but the New Day, they'll get the win. And they're finally getting really good ratings, actually, for the New Day. 83s and then 71 and 74 for Kofi and Woods. Tough break, though, about them not being able to make a better run in this. I definitely thought they could be a potential fringe or playoff team. Dangerous Alliance beat Suzuki-gun. This was the technical masterclass matchup. Steve dropping him with the stun gun as far as dropping him on the ropes. There for Davey Boy Smith Jr. Yeah, not the greatest of technical masterclass matches, rather. But for the Dangerous Alliance, 26-4. Good shit. We'll see, maybe potentially they'll jump up a little bit, because there's a lot of teams, of course, that are 26-3 tonight, battling it out, especially the NWO and the Hart Foundation, so that will be huge. As Triple Threat beat the Bloodline, Candido pinning Tama Tonga, assuming Tama, I mean, he could have got him up for the Blonde Bombshell, I'm sure, but the better team gets the win, though. Yeah, Candido almost in the 70s now, so that's great to see, even though it's, you know, it's basically wrapping up the regular season still. We fucking love Chris Candido as Ringkampf beating House of Black. Great stuff from Volter and Timothy Thatcher. It's Volter pinning him after the powerbomb. Volter and Timothy Thatcher, of course, you know, a little bit across the pond, a little bit as far, maybe not across the pond, but just a little a ways away for as far as Volter to be in Austria, but also, of course, in Germany as well. We wrestled in WXW, and of course Thatcher worked over there as well, and very much a home away from home for Timothy Thatcher. But and you could see the ratings helping him out there for sure, getting a little boost there. The Bullet Club beat the new Three Musketeers. Very, very sad to see how this match played out, but at least AJ does well. But everybody else should have been fantastic too, besides Luke Gallows. But maybe not get Carl Anderson. 69 is kind of appropriate for him. But a Spiral Tap too from AJ Styles. That's pretty nuts. Beating Nakamura. Then the Freebirds beat the Planet Jarrett team in 20 minutes. Terry Gordy gets one the Power Slam over Chris Harris. And yeah, Terry Gordy with a 92, of course. Best guy in the match. Our Steal the Show matchup. Super Generation Army. They jump up to 27-3. They get the win here over Chaos. Is a dangerous kick from Guada onto Goto, which obviously that match would fucking rule. You know, as far as the Radicals, they beat DX. The Radicals, I mean, yeah, they lost to the Horsemen. They actually should have another match. They need another match because they accidentally faced the Horsemen twice. which is hilarious. Again, we just can't buy a break with the old Horsemen. But the Radicals, because what it was is we did the tag match with Benoit and Saturn, but we accidentally added the trios match between them for the next show, and it just fucked everything up. Evolution, though, beating the Von Erichs here. So Evolution, they actually don't have an extra match anymore because I always forget to add the Planet Jarrett win to them since it was a bye win, since it was a forfeit win. So they are actually 26-4 now, which is awesome. I mean, they have a chance again to jump up into top 18 potentially here, depending on what happens with the NWO and the Hart Foundation again, which we'll be seeing pretty shortly. As Christian sprains his ankle. Definitely not what you need to have for the Brood, as Gangrel with the Impaler over Mr. Aguilar. Tough break though, a sprained ankle, especially for that Brood team where they're just kind of hanging on because of Edge's 100, but brutal stuff though. 28-2 though, so they are tied with the Elite. Of course, they have the tiebreaker loss to the Elite, so they are just kind of stuck with where they're at. And then as far as 4, a sprained ankle. 3 Musketeers beat, but a spinal disalignment. So at what fucking cost? So now Muto and Chono, I mean, we could have them be a tag team, but I don't think that's fair. So the all-time trios, injuries happen, sure, but I think with this one, I think they're going to have to forfeit the rest of their matches. A spinal disalignment's very, very tough, though. And that definitely has fucked their chances, for sure, obviously. And that's big tough, because they were 27-3. They had basically, as far as one of the top 8, 9, they were a top 10 team. Because they could even won maybe the next night. I don't know who they're facing, but they beat the Ministry of Darkness here, which they're going to drop to 21-8. It's not great, of course, but they're all over the place as well with their as far as how many matches they're supposed to have and whatnot. But brutal to see Shin Yashimoto there with a jumping DDT onto Ron Simmons, and it fucked his spine up doing that. The Hart Foundation, though, beat the New World Order. So they will have a tiebreaker win as well, which I actually think we did this twice now I'm thinking about it. So yeah, that's just great. Because I want to say they did a tag match. It was Brett and Owen against the Outsiders. So that's just great. So unnecessary main event. That's what happens though when you have 64 teams and you're trying to make sure everybody's facing each other. Then you got injuries, you got all types of shit going on. As for our, to put over here, big hug to Shin Yashimoto, a hug to Keiji Muto and Masahiro Chono. Miss out on greatness. Very, very tough. Very, very tough. And I guess we'll put over Edge. He did have 100. Poor Christian though with the sprained ankle, but yeah, 47 days. That's actually kind of crazy that it's only 47 days that his spine got disaligned, and he's like, yep, I'll be back in about a month or so. So yeah, it still fucks his chances up, but if that would have happened a month sooner, they would have been A-okay, but tough. Yeah, he screwed up and apologized. Well, he doesn't apologize. But while you're a piece of shit, yeah, Crush. He was on the right there. Yeah, listen, I'll sort it out. Yeah, listen. He screwed up, he's gonna face the consequences. Damn, all these. Yeah. Sucks, man. Yoshihashi having an off night. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be fixed anytime soon. But now, we have our final weeks of action. And it comes down to the last weeks here for each league. And we will see how the regular season ends out the season and see who will be our 16 playoff teams, which we'll be seeing, obviously, of course, in the next episode, the actual playoffs itself. But then we'll get to run the All-Star Showdown show, which is always going to be a lot of fun to do. A little break in action, a little showing off of the talent that have made it as far as some of the best performances of the season, competing against some of the best from the two different leags. So that should be fun to see. But yeah, on to week 31 we go. Alrighty, so the final Premier League regular season show is here, and as far as for almost every Premier League team, I would say, yeah, pretty much all of them have been caught up now, matches-wise. So this is for, I would say, most of them. Maybe I could be wrong on some of the undercard guys, but for at least for the 19 odd teams that are vying for that final spot, it comes down to this final show. Really, for this, as far as for the Kings of Wrestling and Generation Next, they have a very unique opportunity here because the Shield, they are actually having to make up two matches, both on this week Premier League and National League, to make it 31 matches for them, because right now they're at 29. Now, the thing that makes it interesting is it's two teams that are above them in the playoffs, and it is the Ministry of, oh no, it's not the Ministry of Darkness, excuse me, it is the Heart Foundation in the NWO, which, those are two very, very tough teams to face. Really, it comes down to if the Kings of Wrestling or Generation Next just get one win, and potentially if the Shield either lose out both times, they definitely have a major, major spot and a chance to be that 16th team. Now, they will unfortunately have to face the Four Horsemen, but they'll at least get a chance at greatness potentially. As for our final league event here, I think we're going to go Australia. So yeah, the Sydney Superdome, that's a good little spot. Sell out. Oh, we can run New Zealand. Didn't even think about that, but oh god, yeah, that's probably our only bet there. So at least we're going to Australia, though, so that's going to be fun. Somewhere different, somewhere new. But man, for the final regular season to end in Australia is pretty crazy. But as far as for our backstage incidents here, Ultramantis Black almost got in a fight with Black Cat, where he caused some damage to the rental car and refused to pay for it. Yeah, that's pretty fair. Black Cat, you piece of shit. Can't be doing that. Claudia Castagnoli passing on tips on psychology. The Frightmare, Shawn Michaels and Bobby Heenan butting heads. Of course, the morale officer just getting shit on, and basic and safety training drills for the 8 people that showed up before the show. Dominic Mysterio just being the fucking man. Just being so cheerful and fun to be around. Perfect. Alrighty. So for this final Premier League show of the regular season, we're actually going to have two National League matches. The Ministry and the Freebirds, and the Shield and the NWO, which, obviously that Shield NWO match is massive. We're also going to see the Death Triangle and the Kings of Wrestling, which is a massive match for the Premier League. We're probably going to have that main event, since that's an actual Premier League matchup. As for everybody else here, I'm trying to think as far as where the rest of the cards. Oh, also we have the Hart Foundation, the Wyatt family on the pre-show, so a lot of National League matchups that are having to be made up here tonight. Where the fuck's the Elite? I don't even see. Oh, there, the Dudleys. That's a pretty good match. So yeah, that'll probably be pretty on the card. But yeah, also Generation Next and Los Gringos Locos. So both teams taking on a playoff team where they desperately need a win. Should be a fun one here, this last Premier League show of the regular season. Alrighty, so we have our pre-show matchup, which we see the Hart Foundation get the win over the Wyatts. Huge win for them, obviously, because now they are 27-3, which will then lead to the final regular season matchup to see if they're going to finish either 27-4 or 28-3, which either way, that is massive, because they already have tiebreaker wins over the NWO and the Three Musketeers, so really, they're sitting pretty good, and they're probably going to finish right now, they're 6th. That might change, but I doubt it. They are rolling a little bit as LIJ beat the Best Friends here. Yeah, they just were terrible in America, I guess, but Naito and Shingo finally get some wins for LIJ, and Hiromu to even outperform Trent, so that's Good to see. As the overhead suplex from Naito again does not use the Destino. Blood Generation get the win over Jurassic Express. Yoshino with the submission win over Jungle Boy. They actually did pretty well. Did Doyoshi there. The Four Horsemen beat Planet Jared. Oli, I forgot that being burnt out, it's not technically, you don't leave. You're just kind of the shits. So we kept them out there. I didn't think it'd be this bad with a 48. But they get the win though still, and they are now 29-1, which is still insane. We'll find out how they are going to finish on the next show, but right now it's looking like they're going to finish as both the regular season leaders for the most wins, but also being the national trios champs for the regular season as well. The way it's looking. Second City Saints beat LAX here. Cabana beating Homicide. That's obviously fun as far as with Punk and Homicide and Cabana and all interacting with each other. There's Punk, though, getting the best performance out of that as far as an 84. Cabana getting the month of Colt 45. Yeah, a good win, though, for the Second City Saints. Triple X beating the Bang Bang Gang. As Daniels with the last rights. Again, Triple X did pretty good in this. Really, with Daniels' performances, he was tremendous. Don't think he's going to make the All-Star team, but he might make up the backup All-Star team, if that makes sense. He might not be a starter, if that makes sense. For those who don't remember, or were not around, or not following the channel back then, when they did the Tag League, as far as for the All-Star show, we have a big-ass 10-man. We're going to have a big-ass 10-man, and then we're probably going to have a 8-man. The 10-man is going to be like the 10 of the very best that were a part of each side against each other, and then the 8-man is kind of the second tier guys. Those guys are just right below those top guys. Basically, you kind of think of the guys that are outside the top 10 best workers in the company, so should be a good little show, though, obviously, that All-Star show. And then for the first time, the National League versus Premier League show, which is going to give us a bit of a break for a lot of the playoff teams, but also it gives us a chance to maybe potentially do a tiebreaker between leagues, as far as inter league matchups, or I guess outer league matchups in this case. But yeah, as far as Daniels gets the win, nonetheless, for Triple X, Bobby Fish is back, and they get a win because of that. As far as Kyle O'Reilly gets the win with the Brainbuster over P.D. Williams. Good stuff. Obviously, Kyle O'Reilly, tremendous. Getting a win for his team. And, I think, unfortunately, the Undisputed Era, right now, they're 20-11. Not great. Or 21-11, rather, to end out the season. I don't know if they're going to be a top 20 team. Right now, they're right at that 20th spot. But, we'll see. Team Angle being the Monster Express as they jump up to 29-2. Right now, it comes down to the Elite. If they win against the Dudley Boys, they will finish as the best regular season team out of the Premier League. But it just comes down to them. If they can get the win by Kurt Angle, getting the submission victory over Ricochet. Judgment Day beating the OG Bloodline. That's kind of crazy. Rhea. Oh, she won with Soul Food. God damn it, did I not save it? Might not have saved it. Well, that's just great on editing the moveset. Just fucking great. Team Extreme, though, get the win over Team DK. Poor Aussies losing here. But Matt and Jeff getting the win for the team's Twist of Fate, though, for Jeff Hardy on to Shane Hayes, which Team Extreme are going to finish at 26-5. Looking pretty good. They might jump over some teams, depending on how it plays out there, because right now, the Evolution, Dangerous Alliance, and Death Triangle all having 26 wins, rather. The Brood beating 3 Embiids. The Brood will finish at 28-3. Not too bad for the Brood. As 28-3, pretty good. They're gonna finish probably as a top 5 team unless something crazy happens. But yeah, Christian with that sprained ankle. Luckily for him, they were in a match against a team that was not really gonna threaten them. But if it was a different scenario, that might have went the opposite way for him. Countdown Deluxe beating 3 count here. Crazy. Should not have went this way. Should have been 3 count, but Countdown Deluxe get the win. Michinoku Driver from Taka on to Shane Ups. This actually be a great television match. especially kind of around that time of 3 count. If for some reason Kai and Tai they left WF or WCW, well, I guess they could have at that time, but they would have. The timeline would have been a little early if they would have left. Probably, as far as instead of when they go back to Michinoku Pro, then they go back to WCW. Kind of like when the new regime comes in, they, for some reason, huge Kai and Tai guys. CTU beating El Sky Team 24-7. Fun record as far as CTU. Right now, again, it just comes down to how Los Gringos Locos do, because they have a match later on to see if they're. I mean, either way, even if Los Gringos Locos wins, they have the tiebreaker wins. I guess that doesn't matter. So, yeah, they're sitting pretty at their spot in the playoffs. And, of course, Liger's definitely going to be an all-star for the Premier League. He's been tremendous. The Ministry of Darkness beating the Freebirds, so they're going to be right now 22-8. So they will have their final matchup coming up. But they are still sitting good. It just comes down to how they're going to finish on that final show. But Terry Gordy with a 95, that ruled. Bradshaw with a 93. Good stuff there. The NWO beat the Shield. Wow. So they're going to be 22-8 with that. The NWO are going to be 27-3, which that's massive. And this is, it's going to come down to the wire for the Shield now. Because they still have the match with the Hart Foundation. So, not great for the old Shield, but Rollins, though, has been tremendous, and now even Ambrose and Reigns are getting pretty good. So, yeah, the Elite do, in fact, meet the Dudleys. I figured they would, so they will be crowned the Premier League regular season winners. Big win, big win, 29-2. They were fantastic tonight, and then throughout this whole goddamn thing. Almost, I would say, probably all of them are probably going to make the playoffs, make an all-star. And for Generation Next, they beat Los Gringos Locos. That is a massive fucking victory, as they are now 23-8. And with that win, they're going to need a little bit of help. But if they can get it, my God, are they going to be in a big spot? They might just, in fact, make the playoffs. Especially now with the tiebreaker win. And now with that tiebreaker win, actually, that's going to bump out Los Gringos Locos out of the playoffs as of right now, which is crazy. I actually have to look and see how the Kings of Wrestling, their tiebreaker situation is, but they also still have one more match. But that is pretty goddamn tough for them to lose on the final show and might miss out on the playoffs because of that. And the Death Triangle do beat the Kings of Wrestling, so the Kings of Wrestling are going to be 22-9. They are, I would say, out of this now. Very tough loss. Unreal, though. I mean, Los Gringos Locos just missed out on making the playoffs by one match. Unreal. But at least that's what we think. I mean, it really might potentially come down to if the Shield or Los Gringos Locos, they might be tied if the Shield win. If the Shield lose, though, Los Gringos Locos will bump up because the Shield will be 22-9. But that is wild, absolutely wild scenes here, and Pentagon Jr. getting the win over Chris Hero as well. I would say Claudio's injury, the broken ribs, that played into a major factor tonight, and there we go. We see the Elite winning the Premier League as far as the Trios champs. They got Gordon Soley. They get a little interview. They get photos with as far as the press, and they're going out worldwide as far as with who has been crowned the Premier League champions. Great shit, though. That main event was not it, though. Probably shouldn't have been Death Triangle and the Kings of Wrestling. Gen X and Los Gringos Locos. What a fucking main event, though. That would have been. And now, man, Los Gringos Locos, that is extremely tough to lose like that and to potentially be out of the playoffs like that. But Generation Next, I mean, they're sitting in a phenomenal spot right now. Right now, they are as far as they're going to be behind CTU, who are 24-7, which is again hilarious. But right now, they will probably be facing either a team they've already faced in one of the Premier League teams, but they might have to face Super Generation Army, which would be extremely tough if that is the case. But right now, I believe they are scheduled to face the Brood, which is a big match for them if that is the case, because that is exactly the type of match they would love to have, especially if Christian still has his injury, but I don't think he will by that time. But man, this has been crazy affair. And basically, yeah, that 20 win spot, that was the magic number, really. If you had over 20, you probably had a good chance of making the playoffs, but man, so much going on. I mean, I feel like even though we just put over the Bucks in Kenny, I mean, goddamn, they had the run of a lifetime. Got to give them their hugs, praise them, they were tremendous. And yeah, I mean, it's forced for probably give Eddie a hug, to be honest. I mean, that is extremely tough. He worked his fucking ass off. Unreal. Unreal. As, yeah, he slayed a little off his game. Oh, yeah, probably one off there. Ultraman's Black and Black Cat. They're at odds, and yeah, as far as fullest boy, Ultraman's Black. Yep, Juice Success. Yep, Juice. He's the man. Yeah, Cabana. Yeah, Drew got in fucking shape, which is crazy. he's just a brick shit house out there, I guess. But, man, it comes down now to see how the Shield and the Heart Foundation match is going to play out, to see who will in fact be our 16 playoff teams. Will it be the Shield, or will it be Los Gringos Locos? We will find out. As, my God, though, I still can't believe this all came to, all from the TEW gods, even. Like, it wasn't even up to us. I mean, that's a lot of fun to see. Alrighty, so we are here for the finale, at least of the regular season. As, didn't mean to click on the intent. There we go. I was going to pick the brand on none because, well, we have actually another Premier League matchup that I forgot to add on the last show. It's the Filthy Animals against the Bang Bang Gang, which is fine. As far as, I don't think it's going to matter too much, but again, it's nice to get this done with, as far as make sure everybody's faced each other. But for this show, it all comes down to, really, when it comes down to who might make it, who might not make it, it's going to come down to the Shield and the Ministry of Darkness. Now, the Three Musketeers, with that injury to Shinya Hashimoto, they're going to forfeit tonight's match, which is against the FBI, which is hilarious. They get another win. But Hashimoto's going to be back in time for the playoffs, actually. So that's massive, because they're going to take about a month break or so, basically. Once we get into September, it will be pretty much just the All-Star Showdown in the National League versus Premier League show, Super Show. Then we'll get into the finale of the playoffs. But with that, that's going to help out, obviously, the Three Musketeers. Being out for that long, especially, it's going to help them out a lot. Now, Muto and Chono, they're going to be in the All-Star matchup, I'm sure. Maybe as the starters, maybe as the backups, but either way, they're going to be involved in that show, I'm sure, and probably be involved in the National League versus Premier League show as well. But as far as for tonight's locker room instance, let's see. Oh, Brady was so drunk that he was in no condition to work. Damn. Well, we could fire him. We could do that. But that feels like that would be pretty crazy. We'll find him. But, not great. Chris Hero passing on microphone work to Claudio Castagnoli. Hero passing on microphone work to Frightmare. And he's passing on microphone work to Hollow Wicked. And Naito's passing on microphone work to Hiromu. Nakamura's passing on Psychology to Yoshihashi. Again, not the guy you want to be fucking with there, Mikey Nichols. Roman Reigns about to fight Masufuchi. That's in the last man while you're trying to fight him, Roman. Yeah, again, Paulie not very happy. Fritz, as far as passing on, trying to be a better booker to David. pass on psychology to Mike. Von Erich and Hallewicked does a series of spot-on impressions. Oh, that's fun. There's only women out there, and they're out there having fun. Have fun. That's great to see. Great to see. So yeah, as far as for the Shield, they have the Hart Foundation match, of course. Right now, if Los Gringos Locos, if they see a loss tonight against the Shield, that would be a match that we'll be seeing as determine who's going to be that final spot at the National League versus Premier League show, which that will probably be the main event because of all the implications. This little angle that's going to be pre-show is just going to be Gordon solely cutting a promo. And then, of course, we'll be giving the Four Horsemen their trophy tonight. Even if they, well, it's kind of weird. I'm going to put that for the match as far as giving them the title, but it'd be very, very funny if Kensuke Office beat them on this final show. But I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see, though. And, of course, they'll finish potentially 30-1, which is insane. They're going to be the only 30-win team. And then, trying to think who else. Oh, yeah, the Ministry of Darkness. They're taking on the Von Erichs. I think they're probably going to win that match, but I guess you never know. But if they win that one, they'll be 22-8, and they'll secure their spot, though, for the 17th spot. So they'll, or not the 17th, the 15th spot, rather, which, as of right now, depending on how things go, as far as they will take on the Elite, if things don't change right now. But again, anything can kind of happen. It is interesting, though. I feel like the Ministry of Darkness, I either forgot to update their shit, or something's going on there with that. So, well, I actually want to take a look at that before we get rolling. But as far as the main event, it's kind of hard to really pick one. As far as Super Generation and Freebirds, we might just go with that. Or, actually, we'll probably go with our Foundation, the Shield. That's probably the biggest match on the show tonight with all the implications on it. So, yeah, that'll be our main. We'll see how it all plays out. Alrighty, so, yeah, here's the little segment for, as far as explaining what's going on with the Three Musketeers. Which, hopefully, Hashimoto will be at 100% when he's back with us. As then, for the Super Generation Army and the FBI, this kicks off the show as, of course, Super Generation Army get the win. But at least the FBI got one win tonight, beating the Three Musketeers by forfeit. But yeah, hundreds across the board, obviously, from Masawa Kobashi and Kawada. Incredible stuff. Crazy they did not win the regular season as far as the most wins. Insane. Three Musketeers, though, beating Psycho Circus, and they did outperform them. So glad that happened. And Nakamura with an 81. Glad they get the win. Both animals beat the Bang Bang Gang, which they will finish at 21-11, which or 21-10 rather, excuse me, which I believe will tie the Undisputed Era. So as far as both those teams, those were the teams that will finish probably 21st and 20th in the rankings there. But yeah, they beat as far as Rey Mysterio Jr. with the Springboard Hurricane Rana over Colton Gunn. I got this definitely going to be an all-star. If not for him, Filthy Animals would not be anywhere close to making the playoffs. He was fantastic. House of Black beating Los Villanos as Buddy Matthews, the Australian, getting the win here as he gets one with the Silver Star Press over Villano 4 and 10-20. So that's a good little win there. That's a 66 for Malachi Black as well. Suzuki-gun beating Chaos. It sucks that Okada got hurt, because Chaos was really starting to cook there for a hot minute, but Yoshihashi came in and absolutely killed all their momentum. Dangerous Alliance securing their spot in the playoffs here. Obviously, they were going to get the playoff spot anyways, but this just pretty much guarantees them a great spot. As far as they're going to be 27-4 now, which they're tied with the Three Musketeers. Don't know how their record is against each other, so I'm not sure who's going to be ahead of one another. But that's a 70. The Radicals beat Demolition here in the Technical Masterclass matchup. Yeah, I mean, as far as the Radicals, I'd have to relook at their schedule, but I believe they're another team that just missed out on the playoffs. I know they have 20 wins now. But yeah, I mean, obviously Benoit, he's going to be an all-star. I mean, it was phenomenal. As far as the Ministry of Darkness, they do in fact get the win. So they're going to be 23-8. So they, right now, are pretty much, I would say they've secured their spot. unless something crazy happens where the Shield lost and then they end up losing to Los Gringos Locos. But right now, it's they are at the 15th spot with that win over the Von Erichs. Take over the Tombstone too. That's kind of that's a phenomenal exclamation point of getting the win and securing the playoffs by dumping someone on their goddamn head. And the Horsemen do in fact get the win. Here they are with the Trios champs and the regular season Trios leaders, which is funny that Oli gets fucked over on this, not getting crowned because it should have been him, but obviously Oli's got his, he's being burnt out, so I wanted to make sure we had our best guy out there. And, man, Flair, again, he's going to be an all-star. He's probably the MVP. I mean, when you... and he probably is. I mean, just, they've won the most. He's been one of the best in the world. He's been getting hundreds pretty much the whole time. It's hard not to say he's not the MVP of this. And then the NWO beat the Triple Threat. They are 28-3. So, yeah, of course, they are going to be right there with the Brood. And we'll probably have a tiebreaker match between those two teams to see who's going to be ranked higher in the playoffs at the little special showdown show between the two leagues. New Day and the Bullet Club. New Day get the win here. As far as Big E, Kofi, and Woods getting the win, that's actually pretty crazy. I didn't think they'd get the win. AJ was the best guy in the match, and they still lose. Planet Jarrett beating DX here, the 8-second ride for James Storm. X-Pac actually did pretty bad in this. Usually he's a lot better than that, but yeah. Tough break. Evolution getting another win, and they are 27-4. They are also tied with the Dangerous Alliance and the Three Musketeers. I know the Dangerous Alliance have a tiebreaker win over them, so they'll be below them. I'm not exactly sure about the Musketeers, so we'll see how that plays out. But Hunter with a 96, he's going to be an all-star. And Orton, though, he's on the rise there for a hot minute, but yeah, too cool. Losing there, Scotty takes the pedigree. A 99 for the Super Generation Army and the Freebirds, who are going to finish 28-3. Super Generation Army, goddamn. What can you say? As far as with them, they have the tiebreaker win over the NWO. I know that. We'll see how the Hart Foundation do with the Shield, if depending on who wins that matchup tonight, how that's going to kind of dictate the standings and whatnot. And yeah, they do in fact get the win. So the Hart Foundation, they're going to be 28-3 as well. The Shield, unfortunately, 22-9. That will indeed knock them out of the playoffs. And now, just like that, the Los Gringos Locos team, they thought they were going to be potentially missing out on it, but in fact they are in it. And really, for them and Jin Next in the Ministry of Darkness, again, it's going to come down to maybe tiebreakers and how that all plays out between the Generation Next team and Los Gringos Locos team. But I'm going to just assume we're going to have a triple threat tag match on that. Again, the colliding show at the Super Showdown show. I'm going to just call it from now on. Between the Shield, Los Gringos Locos, Gen Next. Whoever loses, it's going to be a first fall. Whoever loses that match will be the 16th spot. Whoever wins it will be the higher ranked of the 3, 23, and 8 teams. But yeah, that's our 16 teams by the looks of it of the playoffs. The Four Horsemen, the Elite, Team Angle, Super Generation Army, the Brood, the Hart Foundation, the NWO, the Three Musketeers, the Death Triangle, the Dangerous Alliance, Evolution, Team Extreme, CTU, Generation Next, Ministry of Darkness, Los Gringos Locos, and then, just crazy. Crazy the Shield missed out on it. Kings of Wrestling missed out on it as well. Some big matches, though. Big match. A Hart Foundation. Brett's going to be probably an all-star as well. It's been a hell of a run. And I will say this, though. I just kind of looked at the all-time tag league. We actually have had better shows, and we've had more than 100 matches compared to that, which is kind of crazy. Did not expect that. It didn't feel like it. During the time, I definitely had a different vision of what the all-time tag league finished out like, but no, this has been way better. I think that also makes sense though in a way, because technically it's the sequel of that series, so all the guys that were a part of that series have been doing so well, of course, as you've all saw. And, man, it's been a huge, huge win for this Trios League. We're going to put over Taker for, getting his win for the Ministry of Darkness. As far as, we're going to give some hugs, though, to the Shield boys, because, man, that's tough. Absolutely tough to have that record. As far as having to take on both two great teams at the end, and those boys earned it. But we'll definitely be seeing Rollins part of the All-Star lineup. But as far as the one-off for Bray, hopefully, he about got fired, but it is what it is. Huh. I just wanted to give him a little break. Sure as a one-off. Yeah, quite the success. Yeah, Bradshaw. As far as Steve Williams. I definitely want to book Doc on the All-Star show, have him and Gordy. Well, Gordy's probably going to be an All-Star, so probably not then. Damn. But we'll probably put Gordy and Doc on some type of Super All-Star. The Showdown show, if you will, as far as the Super Showdown show. But yeah, we're actually going to end the episode here. Just kind of thinking about it. I think the All-Star Showdown and the National League vs. Premier League special should be together in their own episode, because we're going to go through all the top 100 list, everything involving everybody. We're going to go through the standings for the last time, since obviously the regular season is over now, and that should be its own episode. I think that's a nice little buffer point between the playoffs, and then we'll see how everybody plays out as far as the 16 teams have been selected. The order, though, is still up in the air. We'll find out at the National League vs. Premier League special, actually, to see who's going to be the 16th team to take on the Horsemen, or who will be the 14th team and be able to take on Team Angle. We will see. But thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time for our special little matches here. I guess I'm trying to think what we should call it. I guess the All-Star break, I guess, is the best way of going about it. So we'll catch you guys next time for the All-Star break. Take care, everyone.